I have always been one to live in fear. Anxiety has a way of easily corrupting my mind and making me hesitant and nervous of an abundance of things. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I sat in intro to public history and navigated the internet at a speed and interest that I have never experienced before. To my teacher, I must have looked like I was the most intrigued student in the class, typing away and never removing my eyes once from my screen. After minutes that turned into hours, that even turned into days of research, I sat in the last row of my classroom and had finally found the place that I wanted to study abroad. Sevilla, Spain was the place that would become my new home, where I would be thousands of miles away from my friends and family, and where I was taking the biggest step out of my comfort zone that I had ever done before. Alan Alda once said, "You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself." And that's exactly what I did. Sevilla was always in motion. Everywhere I went, every day that I explored, there was always an uproar of chatter that was difficult for me to understand, constant trotting from the horse and buggies transporting people to different destinations, and beeping from the absurd amount of taxis and tour buses that filled the streets. Within the first few days of arriving in my new home, I could have never imagined myself getting any peace and quiet time. But there was always something about the river that I walked over every day to school, the river that I went to in order to meet up with friends, and the river I would just go to simply cure my homesickness. The most important thing that the river reminded me of was home. Although the Guadalquivir River was 408 miles long and I only saw a small 10-mile portion of it, it eventually opened up to the Atlantic Ocean, connecting me to home and reminding me that I had no reason for any fear or anxiety. The river became my mentor, my confidant, and my safe haven. At the end of a busy weekend of traveling, or at the end of a long day at school, I was able to walk to the river, find a spot for just myself, and reflect on all of my experiences and understand how they have contributed to making me a different, more mature, more confident, and more determined person. It taught me to appreciate simplicity, gifted me with wisdom, and enriched me in ways that I could only have dreamed of. The river united the community by bringing the two major sides of Sevilla into one. It brought everyone together along the cobblestone path, even if no one was talking, and that's exactly what it did for me. It brought everything together. Just as James Baldwin once said, I met a lot of people in Europe. I even encountered myself.